Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We're back again. Storm here.
Mom here.
Kimmy here.
We're going to be watching more of Better Call Saul, Episode 9, Season 6. Wow. Last episode, we talked a lot about it last time. It was very well done, and, I mean, how could you? But, like, we can't get over on how tragic Howard's story was.
Howard's story is. It's very sad.
Yeah, it is very, very
it's
sad.
It's just so wrong.
He's such a good person. He was wronged. You know?
In so many ways. And now Jimmy and Kim have to live with that lie. Like, they have to live with the guilt and continue the lie.
Yeah, I think
the rest of their
lives.
lives.
It's just going to break them. I don't know. I mean, well, we see him in Breaking Bad where he's by himself.
That's right.
You know, what's Kim going to do? What's her plan?
Yeah.
And I have to say, Mike did a beautiful job on how his story, Howard's story, is going to end. Like, to make it so perfect, that would be how Howard, if he was to commit suicide, you know. Unfortunately, the cocaine has to be in that story for Jimmy and Kim's, their story to follow through. But, I mean, he paid attention to detail so much. He took the wallet, he took his ring, made it beautifully, precisely as, Howard would have done it.
Oh,
beautifully as, like, he's really smart with the details. Like, Mike is so successful with that. Like, no matter how you look at Howard's death, like, even having suicide, like, he was murdered. And, like, so the whole thing for Howard just sucks. But, yeah, like, Mike does a really good job at covering up.
Yes.
Which is scary to say, too.
Because he knows the person. He knows the person, like, okay. He knows his MO. He knows, what type of person he was. Even right down to the music. Keeping the music on.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's always been very successful with that. Yeah, it's pretty.
The battery's probably going to die.
Impressive,
but you never know.
And it's terrifying to think, like, in real life, are there people like that who can cover up, a murder?
I know, right?
And it's terrifying. I mean, someone who was brutally murdered. And you think, they committed suicide. I mean, like, suicide's a terrible thing. Don't get me wrong, but it's a very different kind of death. So, it just sucks for Howard everything.
And to even drive him over drive the car to the coast. I mean, that was even perfect too,
Jeez.
Yeah.
He made him, made it look like that's what he wanted.
Yeah. And Kim and Jimmy are going to wonder where his body is this whole time, and just the guilt. I mean, everything that happens. I mean, all the things they'll remember.
Yeah.
The refrigerator.
The refrigerator. Yeah. Every time they open the new fridge, they're going to think of him.
Everything.
I would imagine.
Right. Yeah, just sitting in the living room.
I don't even think they're going to be at that apartment very long.
I was going to say I would move.
Yeah, and who knows? Mike might also say, because he even said you have to act like it's an everyday thing, that nothing happened. So them moving shortly after, which I would assume that they would, but they probably have to wait a duration of time before they can do it. Otherwise, it'll look suspicious or something. Because they were the last people to see him, and that has to stay the story.
Yes.
Because it is the story.
Mm-hmm.
It's so sad. So, shall we get into this?
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
It's a great show, though, but man, my heart,
stress,
hard. So sad.
It is.
So we're going to be watching on AMC Plus, 609. I think I said ass.
Getting his place ready.
Oh my God.
Just like Saul style.
Oh, yes.
So, did you know Lala was alive before?
Does he have to tell them the news, or do they already know?
The show must go on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not a car show.
Don Héctor. Don Héctor.
Mm-hmm.
Don Héctor. 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 Don Héctor.
I love how they have to do everything together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yo exijo
Yeah,
sangre
how does he get
por
out of
sangre.
that?
Oh, boy, I'll tell
Can't
you.
wait to hear it. Oh, he's furious.
Ustedes presenciaron estas llamadas de él.
Así es, don Eladio. Mi hermano dice que el registro dental sí coincide.
Okay, all the facts are there. The facts.
Don Héctor, sé que vienes de lejos. Esta noche duermes en mi cama.
I do feel bad for him at this point because he keeps.
It's so disrespectful.
Ay, ay, ay. El South Valley seguirá siendo de los Salamanca. Y el resto del norte, bueno. Gustavo.
Yeah, that's right. Exhale.
That's where his friend died.
Mm-hmm.
Murdered. By the boss.
Mm-hmm. Now he has to pretend everything is just fine, like Jimmy and Kim.
Tell me about the lawyers. They spent a full afternoon with the cops, played it as they were told, maybe a bit better. We need to find a new engineer and a crew to do the work.
That was good. Mike didn't say anything. It's like he had a long day.
Look was enough.
I look up, and this Cadillac cowboy is rolling in, puffing on a Monte Cristo, and I mean, we're talking. He clearly wants to impress his date, so he orders this. It takes one, and
He's
I
like,
got
get out of here.
a little enthusiastic with my Eurail pass. Finally, I get to this stand of cedar trees, and I just go ahead and roll out the sleeping bag. And the next morning, the vineyards are so steep, can't get tractors up there, so they use horses still.
About a year ago, you mentioned a rare vintage from this same vineyard.
1978. Mr. Fring.
Gustavo.
Gustavo.
I'm saving it for a special occasion.
You'll appreciate this. I'll be right back.
He's gonna frown.
For a moment, he escaped his life for. And I was right back to remembering.
Aww.
Gonna go see him.
Yes?
Mr. Varga, you don't know me, but I'd like to talk about your son.
Gotta respect, he's gonna tell him what happened. Kind of.
Chrysler Fifth Avenue.
Good memory.
You were there.
I was there. One more thing. You won't have to worry about the Salamancas.
Justice. What you talk of is revenge.
I'm glad he told him though.
Yeah.
It's a big risk too to do that in
Yes,
his
it is.
face.
20 minutes tops. We can get through 20 minutes of anything.
AJ Jim.
I mean, nobody could relate to a client quite like he could. And it wasn't an act. He genuinely cared.
I expect to see him charging down those stairs with a big grin on his face.
End of an era.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Jimmy McGill. You may not remember me.
Oh, she heard about you.
Of course. Playing elaborate pranks of some sort. That you wouldn't leave him alone. Tell me what you told the police.
Wow.
Finally, he left. That's it.
You can't
I'm
look
not
at
oblivious.
He's like, wow, she's going this far.
And?
Oh boy.
I never told anyone.
Oh boy.
But now I wish I had.
when he's
Towards the
okay,
end.
So, yeah.
he's gonna say yes.
Say,
You saw him every day. You knew him better than anyone.
And they know different.
Maybe I misunderstood what I said.
And like the wife is right, and Howard was
my
right,
God,
and
my
here
goodness.
the lie
That's
takes
horrible.
over.
Yeah.
For Kim to say that. It's never gonna be over.
Let the healing begin.
It won't be.
The healing. Oh, there's no healing.
Oh God. I don't know.
She's gonna like break.
All rise. Do I understand this correctly? You're requesting to withdraw from this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Wexler, we are here today at your insistence to consider your motion to exclude evidence. Would you care to supply any detail at all?
It's awkward.
Your Honor, I'd prefer not to.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Impactful.
You've got. Who are they going to find who's half as good as you? No one. They need you.
It's already done.
Oh. So I'm going to go get your printer,
not gonna
and
do
then we're
it.
going to get the hell out of here.
But Jimmy, Jimmy. But we are bad for everyone around us. Other people suffer because of us.
Okay, what happened to him wasn't on us. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't my fault. It was that fucking Lalo Salamanca.
I thought it was a 1 in a million chance that he'd come for us. I thought he would be caught.
Ouch.
Face.
He got his settlement
I'm
money.
hearing your report that you use the magic words. I don't have a choice, okay?
Oh my God! Look at his bald spot.
Oh my God.
Just like Breaking Bad.
Yes.
Or, oh, that's my Xanax.
Okay.
Tell him yes today. I'm not talking to you. Ramirez, yes. Call that kid, tell him I want the names and numbers of all the victims I saw.
Oh boy.
Lawyer up.
Yeah, I guess so.
Move it to court day.
A major or minor surgery gone wrong. I'm here for you, Albuquerque. Better call Saul. Call 50.
He knows his stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Stop the check.
Oh my goodness.
So sleazy.
He is in it deep. She's changed so much.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
I was expecting Walter White to walk in.
And ready, set, action.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because we're watching AMC Plus, so they give you that extra
Mhm.
little snippet.
Well,
Another good episode, but just so sad.
It
it
is.
is
you know,
sad.
you know, with Kim being so quiet, doing what she's supposed to do, going through, you know, HHM, doing what she's supposed to, and then just letting go of everything.
That's right.
Being an attorney, being married.
Yeah, I
Oh,
didn't
really?
know how she was going to be out of the picture, but I kind of thought she was going to die. And the
I
only
did too.
reason,
I'm glad she didn't.
yeah, me too. And the only reason why I thought that was because on how bad things were getting and how deep they were getting into with the cartel. And I'm like, her and Jimmy are so in love with each other that I can't just see her leaving him and that being it. But it has gotten that bad where,
Yeah, took a toll on her.
yeah, for her, like,
Him too, but
both of them were so smart. And it's probably not the right quote, but love can make you stupid too, or blind. And here, like, she was denying herself that she knew it was poison all this time, but just loved it and loves him. But she loved playing the game, and she just
it
full
was
out.
so fun for her.
Yeah,
like
she full out just told him honestly that that's how it was, and it was so painful because they love each other.
They love each other, and I think this is the first time they actually said it.
Really?
I mean, they got married, but and even their marriage, it was because she can help him, with all his shenanigans. It was for to protect him, really. But they did love each other. You knew they loved each other, but I don't think they ever said it.
Maybe
in
not.
that
I
climax,
they have, but
maybe they have, but it was very profound here, where he was grasping at everything. Look, I love you. I'm saying it to you.
Yeah.
And
it's so true for both of them, but that's like their breakup. I love you, and most breakups don't happen that way. Not because you truly love the person, and you're toxic together, which is great for them, but bad for everyone around them.
That's
like
right.
Kim said, she has it down pat. She knows exactly how bad they are for each other.
Yeah, and she looks in the future, and she's like, if I told you about Lalo, we'd break up anyway. At the end, she knew the chain of events that were going to happen. He tried to protect her, yada yada, and we'd break up. She did the her way, not telling him, and it still fell through the cracks. And they lost Howard in the meantime, and not only Howard, HHM is dissolving. All these dominoes are falling.
And Howard's poor wife, I felt so sorry for her.
They had, they were estranged. They weren't happily married. But still, for her to, she was ticked off at Jimmy.
Yeah, because even though they were estranged, because she still had respect for him and understood who he was.
Yeah.
And for this cover-up, this lie to happen, and she knew it was false. And for her to openly, challenge Jimmy and Kim about it. She was spot on, just like her husband was.
Sure was.
And yet they looked like they were misguided, or she had no idea on what her husband was really doing. And for Kim to say something like that, I know she had to seal the deal to make it believable, because honestly, her and Jimmy's life are on the line as well. So she has to continue the lie. And I was still amazed that she did that, but it really did make it more believable.
Right, because she's more respected in the community. And she definitely more respected, over Jimmy in Howard's wife's eyes. So, and for Cliff, he was speechless too when she turned to him and said, "Have you ever seen anything like this?"
All the lies.
And he did. He saw it when he was having, lunch with Kim with his erratic driving. He thought it was him. So that just,
it's very heartbreaking.
It is, because she now believes that he really did kill himself.
That's right.
And he was, he was addicted to cocaine.
Yeah, and as we know, Jimmy and Kim are both guilty of a lot of bad things. But that was Kimmy's fault, really, too, because she never told Jimmy, because, she confessed, she wanted to keep playing. She was having fun. And they didn't think Howard was going to die over this, but they were still screwing with his reputation big time.
Definitely.
That's huge. And her not telling Jimmy, which would have caused them to go into hiding, to probably move. I would have. And then Lalo wouldn't have been in the right location, most likely. He wouldn't have found their new location. And if Howard was there yelling at him, that would be at a new place, not here. So to have that much pride and be like, I just want to be in the game, no matter what the risk may be. This is a crime lord. This is a scary murderer who survived this long and kills a lot of people, even people close to him. And, he's betrayed by another party, a big party, and you're part of that. And he's on the loose, and you lied to him right to his face. Holy crap, but you're you want to stay in this game to play, and yet you have this crazy murderer who knows where you live.
And it was a perfect time too, because Jimmy was just starting to rent his location now. He was at his high point. He was like, oh, I'm getting back, I'm going to have a new place. And she went up to him, and that's the day she found out about Lalo being alive, and she didn't want to diffuse it. So and then that's when she decided, I'm not going to tell him.
Yeah.
And also Mike has some guilt too, because, not for nothing, if, he's trying to right a wrong too, he feels very guilty even about Nacho. He has to tell, he felt it was right to tell his father what happened.
Right, yeah.
I mean, there's just so many things that...
I'm happy he did that.
I am too. But he feels bad because he took the guys away from checking out Jimmy and Kim's spot to go, put all his resources to Gus. I mean, there's so much guilt everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how Kim is, she's going to deal with it. She's not going to be an attorney anymore. No matter how much good she does for the pro bono stuff, she's going to let it all go because it's, the bad stuff outweighed it.
Yeah.
She can't take it anymore.
There was a moment where Don Eladio, which was also a tense scene. It's always tense at that.
I know that.
Oh my god! Yeah, every time in that pool. And when Don Eladio looks at Gus, and I was amazed by that conversation. I'm like, how the heck is this going to even work? Because Gus survives to Breaking Bad, so I'm like, how is this going to play out? And the fact that Gus didn't even have a response, he was just like, well, there's no more to be said here. I'm like, holy crap! So they, because it's more important for Don Eladio to keep the peace so he can keep business going instead of murdering, and having a major war and then not making money. So him warning Gus, saying it's okay to have a little hate but not a lot, and he's warning Gus because he has a lot of hate.
And remember,
absolutely, for Don Eladio.
Mm-hmm.
So right after that, when he's home and he's talking to Mike, and right before he closes the door, they're also exchanging looks.
Yes.
And I know they do have a little respect for each other, but at the same time, watching Better Call Saul and seeing their relationship more, there's more hate, I feel like, because, he even had to murder his friend before, because he ran away from his job, and he didn't want to do that, and he tried to talk Gus out of it, but he had to do the job because Gus was not seeing it any other way.
Yes.
It's like, no, this is what you got to do.
And he's pretty much saying to Mike, I'm the boss. Same thing as
so you can have a little bit of hate, but not a lot. So that exchange there, I took it as the same thing. It just gets passed down.
It does. And you know what? Lalo sealed the deal right there. He was so good at covering his tracks to keep alive and tell his uncle, Hector.
Stay alive. Yeah.
Yeah. And just but saying that he died and, doing the dental work, everything. That sealed the deal because Don Eladio was like, okay, where's the evidence? Okay, did you actually see him? Did you see the body? Yes, it was burned. The cousins are saying, the nephews are saying, yeah, we saw it. Okay, well, that's the proof. And Hector was so pissed off. He's like, no, he's saying, those ringing of the bell is like, no, you freaking talk to me. It's true.
And he was so disrespectful.
But Lalo was so good at hiding his tracks to, say he was dead when he was really alive. That sealed the deal for Gus. Gus.
Yeah, with the dental work and that neighbor. It was sad.
Eladio's like, well, the facts are the facts. So everyone, you keep this side, you keep that side, and.
Yeah, so he doesn't want to even push it at all because he'd rather maintain the peace and get money instead of
and he knows deep inside that Lalo, covered his tracks to stay alive, and he would probably do it himself. I mean, he's the biggest drug lord there is, so in this area, so he would do the same thing if it was, if he was in that predicament.
Isn't it crazy too? Because Hector is such a nasty, evil person, and I do feel bad for him.
I felt bad for him in that.
I get that,
really
and I just always try to remember what he did. He was evil and terrifying, But it's true. You have these moments of oh my god, I do feel bad. He can't even express himself anymore. But
he can't.
It's fitting for him.
And on top of it all, when Nacho was dying, he said that the Peruvians did it. So he was, and then Gus is like, yes, everything is coming together. Yes, I'm going to be off scot-free. So it was perfect. Yeah. I did really feel bad for Hector.
I mean, it's good for him, though, because I'm sorry. I'm not really sorry, though, because he's so evil that he deserves that. Yes. So that's why I try to remind myself, I did feel bad for him for a moment, but I did feel bad for that moment because, because of his stroke, he couldn't,
really, really
articulate what
yeah,
he's saying.
he couldn't.
Yeah, but again,
Conscious.
like, of all the evil
of course,
things
absolutely,
he did, like, he
hands
deserves
down.
that. But yeah, that's terrible that he couldn't actually.
Yeah. And it's
express
like
anything.
what Nacho's father said to Mike, you're all the same. Like, all you gangsters are the same.
That's right.
And whether Mike understood what he was saying or not, I'm sure he did, he was right. And that's when Mike didn't say anything. He's like,
true.
everyone has different levels of being bad and good in this realm of work they're doing, but still, at the end of the day, you're all the same.
It's all over
no matter
drugs,
what level.
Drugs.
I know.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I'm saying you gangsters. It's almost like
Yeah.
belittling him, but it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really sad, and Mike really took that hard,
Yeah.
So, but I am happy that he
true.
did tell him the truth,
I am
because you don't
too.
always want to.
Yeah.
You want to have closure too,
Mm-hmm.
and him
Father.
always wondering like, oh, where's my son? And eventually, when he tries to contact him, and because they weren't doing well at that, for a while, and he's like, you got to get out of that, and was distancing himself from that, but. Yeah, that was very sad all around, but yeah, Kimmy's out of the picture now, and now we have Saul from Breaking Bad.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and he's full in.
Oh, he sure is.
So I wonder if she got some of the money. I'm sure she did, and whatever she's doing, I hope she's happy. And
I hope so too.
I hope so too. Yeah.
I mean, that's
horrible.
yeah.
As sad as it is too, I hope that is it for her, because we know in Breaking Bad she's not in the picture, of course. So, I just hope she doesn't come back and something bad happened to her, because I still have it in my head, because they were so in love and so good together that I thought it would take more than. I mean, this was terrible with what happened to Howard, but I thought it would take a lot more for them to separate. But that is huge, you know. Like, to what ends? It's someone very close that you cared about died because of your shenanigans.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was just awful.
Yeah, and she's got a big conscience, and she's just like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do any of it. Not half of it.
That's
I
it.
can't do any of it. That's it.
That's for sure.
Oh man.
So sad.
So until next time, guys.
Whoa.
Yeah, very sad, but yeah, we got a few more episodes left. I hate it when a series ends though, because
then we're gonna shoot full on Saul.
Yeah,
That's
full on
right.
Saul with the awesome hairline or the bald,
Oh my God, yes.
bald spot
And
with
he
the
is
comb
just
over.
constantly,
Oh God.
and
Sleazy
Francesca now. I mean, I feel bad for her, because
look
she
at
was
how hard
so
she's
invested in, the company, and she just really wanted to make it look gorgeous and
She gave up on
present it
everything.
nice.
Yeah,
And she's like, you know
She's
what?
so hard now, hardened.
Yeah.
Yeah, numb and
Tough.
hard. Yeah.
Yep.
Terrible.
Oh
So
my
thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you very soon as always. Please subscribe. Bye.
Bye.